My name is Douglas Perkins. I'm a professor in the Human and Organizational Development Department. My background is as a community and environmental psychologist, and I was recruited to come here in 2000 by the late Professor Bob Newbrough, who had written a prospectus for the new department of HOD, along with Professor Paul Dokecki. And they recruited me to come here at the beginning of the department, which started in 2000, in order to help develop a couple of new graduate programs for the department. I proposed a field school for Southern China in 2007 and took a group of 11 students there, and we did collaborative action research projects in a city and a surrounding rural area in Southern China. Projects in schools, a health-focused project. It turns out that they were struggling with some dietary issues, especially with young people in this part of China, and the local Centers for Disease Control solicited our help in analyzing and collecting data as to better understand what was causing these diseases related to young people's diet in that part of China. I was able to get a grant 2 years ago to conduct another field school in South Africa this past year. The summer of 2012, our summer, their winter, we were able to get a Fulbright Hays Group Project Abroad grant from the federal government to cover a field school in Cape Town. We were based with 15 graduate students, along with my colleagues Maury Nation and Gina Frieden. And they were able to do 3 terrific projects with our South African collaborators. They were school-based, looking at school dropout in high schools and how to better understand that and try to prevent that. One was focused on HIV/AIDS prevention and treatment adherence. And another one was less research-focused in an elementary school, just more focused on the professional development of the staff in that school. And one other thing I'll mention about this last field school was that I was pleased that it drew heavily from all 3 of our graduate programs: the Master's in Human Development Counseling, the Master's Program in Community Development and Action, and the CRA program as well at the doctoral level. The field school in intercultural education and research is, as I mentioned, an idea developed by former faculty who was an anthropologist. And so from the beginning of our field school model, it has been an effort to train students in applied research, collaborative, participatory research in most cases, in a setting that is less developed. It is mostly international, but we also talk in our chapter about something that was not called a field school at the time, that Professor Sharon Shields organized with some of her colleagues in New Mexico. So we've always been open to other opportunities for field research, not just in foreign countries, but here in Nashville, of course. Most research that we're involved with among the faculty and our graduate students is based right here in Nashville. But the field school model is a little bit different in that it's getting students out of their comfort zones, if you will, and working in a culture and in a setting, sometimes with a little bit of physical deprivation that they're not used to dealing with in many cases. And that's part of the learning process as well, especially in the case of the China Field School. In 2007, many undergraduates participate. And for them, they may not be going into research careers, but all of the students, whether it's undergraduate, master's, or doctoral students, need to learn how to navigate foreign systems, foreign cultures, collaborate with foreign researchers and community partners and agencies. And that's really, for me, the biggest learning experience, I feel, is getting the students, again, out of their comfort zones and really learning about the world and how others view problems in their communities and view Americans, and really make it as collaborative and participatory a research process as possible. I feel that's a very important part of the learning experience that most American graduate students, frankly, don't get. You know, some programs, I think that's really what makes our graduate graduate programs unique, if you will, and that is the degree to which they're both multidisciplinary, ideally interdisciplinary, and allow students to get out into the field and do very applied collaborative research. The programs that I'm familiar with, they may be applied, but it's usually just in their own community and not, being able to travel as well as do research, not do international collaborative research. My goal, I wouldn't say that we've reached that, although I think we are an exemplar of doing applied, action-oriented, interdisciplinary work. My goal is to go beyond being interdisciplinary toward becoming more what people call transdisciplinary. That's where you're not only bringing your own disciplinary perspective and experience and training to a collaborative project. It's where together with people from other disciplines, you create new methods, new theories that really transcend your home discipline and are new theories that are transdisciplinary, if you will. So I wouldn't say that we're there yet, but to me that is the goal, and that's what we're aiming for in this volume, I feel. I think another important role that I tried to play early on in the Department of Human and Organizational Development was the creation of the Center for Community Studies. It is currently dormant, I will say. It doesn't have any funding currently for the center operations, although of course we're still doing our research as faculty and as graduate students. I like to think that this book will be kind of the next step in that process of getting our what we've learned out there to the world, and so that we can help other people just see how we've done it and recognize that it has flaws. We're not saying that we're perfect, but I do think that we've learned a lot in these various projects, whether it be international or locally here in Nashville, in working across different programs, different levels, from undergraduate to master's to doctoral, and that was part of the Center for Community Studies, as well as the field school, as well as what's covered in this volume.